Allergies coming on.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we'll begin with the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome to the Marion County Commission meeting, November 14th. I guess Commissioner Dalkey's running late, and our counselor may or may not be here at 2 o'clock. First, we'll begin with, I guess I should turn that down. We'll begin with public forum. Is there anyone online who'd like to make comments? There's no one in the room.
If you're online and you want to comment, please type in the chat box or unmute your microphone.
Doesn't look like we have any public comments today. Next item would be agenda approval. Any additions to the agenda?
Executive session at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, Commissioner Dalkey wants an executive session, commission only at the end. Anything else? If not, we're ready for administrative. Congratulations on surviving election.
Thank you.
Done yet.
Yeah, we're not done.
Well, to this point.
But,
To
yes,
this
so
point.
far. All right. In your packet, you have the minutes all the way back from October 24th.
Well, I know the commissioners' memories are razor sharp, so commission has had a chance to review the October 24th minutes. Any corrections? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner
Second.
Herring, second by Commissioner Becker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 4-0.
Okay.
It's yours. No. That's yours. It's Brad's.
Okay. In your packet, you had some early checks. And the grand total is pretty hefty there, but it's $1,642,160.54.
Okay, commission has had a chance to review the early checks. The large one was the final payment on the Indigo Road improvement. We had approved the invoice earlier, just hadn't written the check.
And in case you didn't notice, we also had the appraiser's vehicle in there. It ended up being $584, so over the $25,000.
Any questions on early checks?
Do we need to approve the additional on that?
I didn't look back to see exactly how that motion was phrased. So if you want to, that would be great. Or that, I didn't look back to see.
I remember the
exactly how that was.
25,000.
Yes, I knew that was an estimate at the
If
time.
it was open-ended or not.
Okay, well, the balance is $584 even, if you wanted to
Move to approve the additional 500.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Garing to approve the additional $584 on the appraiser vehicle. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 4-0. Thank you.
Then we would need a motion for the grand total of the early payables in the amount of $1,642,160.54.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Garing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Becker. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Motion carried 4-0.
Didn't have to abstain from anything today.
That's slow money.
Yeah. It's not the end of the month.
So I'm just looking through to make sure that, next on my list will be to do the minutes from October 31st. We haven't done that yet. So.
We're getting closer.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
A few things on the plate.
Okay, I did have the lease purchase agreement for approval. This is with, this is for the health department vehicle. And you had approved the financing already, so this is just the agreement, which I believe I got in your packet.
Motion, yes, yeah, it's in there.
Okay, so just, yeah.
Motion to authorize chairman to sign.
We have a motion from Commissioner Garing approving the lease purchase agreement and allowing the chairman to sign. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 4-0.
Okay.
There's a couple places to sign.
Yeah, the front page and the back page.
The initial every page.
And,
What do I poke a hole and put a plug?
so every page that's turned sideways, you will sign. There we go.
Okay. We don't do a lot of these.
What was interest rate on
Sign
that?
and initial.
Thank you.
What's that?
Interest rate on that one was 3-4%. It was way
Well, it
low.
was three something, was it, or was it 4?
Was it 4.03 or something? I don't have that all
Yeah.
handy, but.
Yeah.
Got that one done just in the nick of time.
Yeah, initial.
These are all that, I was just looking to see if there's an
The
interest
interest
rate.
rate
It's
was
not,
on
it was just lease payments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have that in my head, and I did not
Yeah.
get that in the minutes
We
yet.
just know it was good at the time.
Okay, and then I have a couple of salary changes.
Okay. Okay, the first one is salary change for Kurt Hassert, new hire, EMS director, $5,833, effective 11/15/2022.
Starts tomorrow.
And salary change, Marcy Hostetter, emergency management, change from interim emergency management director to emergency management director from $22.24 an hour to $5,417 per month, effective October 24th.
And then you'll have a couple more that will be changing the current interim increases that you did for EMS back to their regular wages for 2 individuals. But I didn't know what effective dates those would be, or if you have decided that. So, I didn't know if you want to leave them bumped for a period of 30 days, or if you're ready effective the date of hire of the new individual to
Probably want to leave it to 30 days, so it'll be
Oh,
Yeah.
the transition.
transition, I mean,
Right. Is that a consensus from the
Yeah.
census and commission to do a 30-day?
Okay.
So effective, maybe starting December pay period.
December.
So-
December 20th,
So December 21st, okay?
21st.
Yep, consensus.
Okay, so that would be,
A month and a week.
yeah, so that would take effect actually the January pay period. Is that what you want to do?
What's your,
Give us
Uh,
that
wait,
one.
Hold on a second, because we're at November 14th,
right?
and that's when the new person's starting. The pay period actually starts not till the 21st. So
So
it's
Yeah,
most
yeah.
helpful if we can do it on a pay
Right.
period break,
It'd
but we
just
don't
be
have
5
to.
weeks.
Right, 5 weeks.
And so you would call that the January pay period? for
So it would be
December
through the-
21st,
Through December 20,
20.
so it'd be,
5
otherwise it
weeks.
would only be through November 20.
Right, we want to do it through December 20th.
Yes.
Okay, so the effective date of the change would be December 21st, which
Correct.
is the beginning of that next pay
I
period.
would expect those people to help the new people,
Yes.
which I'm sure they will.
Salary change for Charles Kinney, ambulance department. Interim change, or change from interim director to paramedic, from $21.43 an hour to $19.48 an hour. That would be effective December 21st, 2022. Salary change for Jamie Shirley, ambulance department. Interim duties, remove interim duties from $4,132 a month to $3,756 a month, effective 12/21/2022.
There's another one snuggled in there.
We have a salary change for Matthew Revere, Sheriff's Office, change from Deputy K-9 to Patrol Sergeant from $19.31 an hour to $20.23 an hour, effective October 28th, 2022. What else do you have for us?
Okay. I believe that's all I have on administrative. If there's time at the end, it'd be great to do a quick executive for
Okay.
personnel, probably 5 minutes.
That'll work. before we have Susan come in, I just wanted to give the commissioners a quick update. Marcy had called me over the weekend. Emergency Management Department did an exercise with the communications tower. So they put it up, several fire departments were there. Went really, really well in having all of the people there. The bad part was there was a problem with the tower. Because it has never been put up.
Right.
And so Marcy, of course, was very thorough in investigating the issue, called another county that has one of those towers that's the exact same problem they've had. So she knows, what to do to make the repair, to get it up and going.
Need parts?
Yes, but she, working with the sheriff's office, because the sheriff's working with Homeland Security, she has to work through several
Yeah.
different channels.
Commend her for checking it out.
Yes, and that demonstrates.
When you need it, it doesn't work.
That it demonstrates the importance of doing exactly what she is doing. And following up on that, she's going to do a little exploring, just to get some options and see if it's a possibility. She would like to see if the sheriff agrees and if the other parties agree to maybe certain times of the year, put it up and leave it up. And that way everything gets run, gets used,
Right.
there's a practice. The different departments that help with it know how to put it up.
And would you put it up out in the country?
Well, she's got areas that are lower in service, and it'd be a good for a demonstration.
Just like a generator, you don't use it for 2 or 3 years anymore.
It's exactly like a generator. She said that was the good thing, the generator kicked right in, because it is being exercised on a regular basis. But she would just ask that I give that update. I didn't want to call you all
No, it's
Sunday.
good, I'm glad she did that.
But-
Need to commend her for getting it done.
Yes, and that's what I did. I thought it was an excellent work on her part to do that. So that was the quick update from Marcy. So we are now ready for Susan. Good timing.
Good. I wanted to give you the quarterly cash position. And the reason that there is a little less now than what there was before is that we've had distributions and we don't have the income from taxes that we had before, of course, because we're kind of in that in-between phase right now. I thought you also might like to see the interesting events when it comes to interest rates. Isn't that interesting? I thought it was pretty interesting. And then October is a little bit lower because we've had to use some of that money for payday and payroll and that sort of thing. So it fluctuates like that, but it's a tremendous difference between, isn't that crazy? And when CDs come up, we negotiate the best we can. We want to use our local banks, of course, but we've been negotiating. I've been negotiating, and so we're trying to get the best interest rate we can, because we don't know how long this is going to last. I mean, nobody does. So we better enjoy it while we can, because it may not be forever. Then I also want to give you a little update on the renovation project in the office. It's been a long project, which I figured it would be. We got the metal cabinets, storage cabinets, relocated from the main office to the driver's license office on Friday, and that worked out pretty well. We have one great big storage cabinet that we're going to see if anybody in the county, any county offices want. We're going to have a lot of stuff for auction or something, and I think there's stuff upstairs for auction for us as well. So it's, probably something, I know Tina and I have talked about, that's something that we need to
When time allows.
I know, and I know you're terribly busy. but-
It's gotta be soon though, before it's super cold, because, there's only certain times of the year that are very conducive for working up there.
Yes, that is true. That's true.
I would almost think that time is now,
March,
next
April,
year.
May or something.
Well, you don't wanna be up there in summer either.
No.
Right,
It's a
exactly,
narrow
so
window.
it's,
Spring and fall. that's
Early in
it.
the morning, in the summer, and then in the evening, I guess. This time of year. So, we're also in the process of, we're gonna have those older wooden cabinets that are on that east wall behind Kathy's and my desks. we're gonna have those removed to give us more space. Because we're gonna get new workstations, and the main point, and you guys probably remember all this, but the main point of doing these workstations is because, especially the front desk people, don't have hardly any room to work. You know, it's a big improvement over what was there in the 90s, you know, and we've had this since the 90s, and so they've served well, they've served its purpose well, but now we need, my people need an area, because I was on the front desk for a long time too, where if you have a book or two or a document or two, you have no place to put it, because it's, you know, a very crowded area. So this will give the people a more of a bigger area to work. Then we're also they're gonna have their own printers for movers for vehicle stuff, so we're not constantly up and down. Now, the up and down part, I think people enjoy doing, you know, just up and down. But, you know, we have so much, when we're really busy, you know, when we're showing printers, and it doesn't work.
Are the printers coming down to the
Yes,
more accessible?
yes, they'll be probably, you know, under the desk or whatever on a lower, yeah.
That was
those-
one thing to let everybody have to reach to the ceiling.
We can come see them now, they're on a desk now, and so they're not nearly as high. And that's the first thing the lady said this morning was, oh, we can reach them.
Yeah, good.
And so, so we're gonna have those cabinets removed, and the wall we paint a contrast color, because we're not gonna try and match that same white. And then we have electrician coming to see about updating a couple of plugins that are in the main area out there too. So, and we still have our carpet squares from when we had the carpet replaced before. So what wasn't replaced in, whenever that was, we had the carpet squares, so we're going to replace it now.
Nice.
So, yeah. So anyway, that's kind of an update. We haven't ordered anything yet. I have 2 bids for the furniture, and I'm still waiting for the final bid. So I will let you know. I'm going to use vehicle funds for that, but I still am going to bring them to you and let you look at them, of course. And it's going to be an investment, you know. It's not
As
anything
long as
else.
if it lasts like the last one, then that's great.
Yes, I'm sure that was an investment as well.
Yeah.
But if this lasts another 20 years,
Mhm.
you know, that'd be well served.
Any questions for Susan?
Sounds good.
Okay.
We appreciate your work on the plan and your staff.
You bet.
That's gonna be better for the staff and
It
for
will.
the customers.
Yes, and the bottom line is better customer service.
Is your-
We've always strived for that.
Probably the most visited office in the.
Yes, we're the most visible, and yes, and right now it's kind of a mess. I think I'm gonna put up a sign saying, excuse the mess, because it looks kind of tacky in there right now, but it'll get better.
Better things to come.
That's right, thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Uh-huh.
Well, Sheriff,
Hello, hello.
come on up.
First of all, congratulations to everybody that won their office. Tina, thanks for the work you did on the ballots. I need to go there.
Okay, you too. How long?
You too. So congratulations on yours.
Oh. 15 minutes maybe at the most.
Personnel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Barely.
That's what I figured.
There are a lot of write-ins.
That line was really catching up.
I move that we recess the executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 1, personnel matters, not elected personnel performance with the commission, sheriff, under sheriff, Tina.
That's fine.
For 15 minutes. Let's go from 12:55 to 1:10.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gehring. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 4-0. We will be back at 1:10.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we're out of executive session, no decisions made. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'd make a motion to pay the undersheriff vacation out to allow for anniversary dates and not lose it. Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Gehring, second by Commissioner Dahlke. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the work you've had to, extra work you've had to do. the last couple of years.
No, there's no place I'd rather be.
Is there any way we can get budget impact for the other?
I think you can. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Ready? Isaac? Hello, Isaac.
Good afternoon. So I want to start. We got a surprise on the dam project.
Surprises are never good.
So 2 weeks ago,
Can I just say something quickly? Do you guys know that the online meeting is not working?
We were in executive session.
Oh, that's why. Okay, thank you.
I mean, it shows that it's on and I've got people online.
okay.
Go ahead, Isaac.
So 2 weeks ago, Brian Severn had a meeting with the Department of Ag, go over all this stuff. Sounded like we were getting ready to get that final push to send this through to get bids. There was a water structures engineer for the Department of Ag that was in on the meeting, and he decided that he really wanted to get the tower that's on the main side of the lake. There's a tube that runs underneath the lake. We call it the burr pole. It's the stilling basin on the backside of the dam. He wanted to get that inspected before he let us move forward. So, it had been 2 weeks ago that they decided to do this, and there was some frustration on the timing of it because we could have done this in the past 10 months while we've been sitting around waiting for this to go through. And so they really didn't give us any leeway. They said this needed to be done. So last week there wasn't a commission meeting, and Brian Severn, the engineer on the project, he contacted this company because the state doesn't have the equipment to do these inspections. So he had to get a third party to come out and do that inspection. We were pushed on time, so they pretty much said we can get you next week, or we can get you about a month and a half from now. So we got an estimate, it's about $2,700. I called and spoke to Tina, she said, let's just
do it.
Let's just get it done.
Good.
So.
Good.
I hope that was okay. So it's just-
Now, wait a minute, wait a
I know.
minute.
Tina's fired.
Yeah.
I know.
So
Can't do
the
Slap.
it was an estimate, and I haven't got any final billing for this. What the breakout was approximately $420, which would have been hourly for the engineer for the meeting to come out on site for the project. $1,750 was the quote for the third-party company. It was A1 Pump and Jet Inspection out of Emporia to come out and do the inspection of that tunnel, and then an estimate of $430 from the engineer to do the video analysis and everything with the footage that we got from that. So Tuesday, last week, we pumped out that stilling basin. They were gonna come out Thursday morning around 10:30 to do that inspection. Wednesday morning when we woke up, that stilling basin was full again, which really should not have happened because the water is well below the tower level and nothing, the gate's closed, so there shouldn't have been any water coming through, which told us we had some kind of problem. So Thursday morning rolled around, we were able to get that re-pumped out. We started about 6:30 Thursday morning. We had it pumped out by the time they came back. We just left the pumps in and kept it running. They did their full inspection there. From what it looked like, actually, the entire tube underneath the dam was fully intact, no problems whatsoever. Once they reached all the way underneath and got to the tower, there was a leak. So the way that tower works, there's a valve at the top of the tower. It goes down. There's a gate actually at the bottom of the tower, which is supposed to raise and lower, and that's how you were initially supposed to raise and lower the water level of the lake. From my understanding, there's now windows cut in the tower. That was not part of the original design. Those windows cut in the tower, from what I understand, I don't know, you might have Been around for that? Okay, they said what happened was, and I think it was when Dale was here, they actually tried to raise that gate one time and they couldn't get it shut. And it ended up draining it a lot lower than they wanted. They got it shut, and ever since then, they said, just never touch this deal. Since that, they got those windows cut in the tower, which once the water quits running over the spillway on a high water event, the water will continue to run through those windows until we're at normal level. And so what they found was actually where that gate was at the bottom, there was water shooting through the side of the gate. Not at a high level, but it was shooting through the inside off the side of the gate. The state engineer that was out there that required this inspection, he said by looking at it, it looks like it's been leaking for over 20 years. And he said it does not seem like it's any more dangerous today than it was 20 years ago, probably when this whole thing started. And he said there's a good chance that never sealed correctly once it was open. He said it's a pretty common problem with those old towers. Sounds like they're not gonna push the subject any further. Sounds like he said everything looks okay. This isn't it was not a huge concern of theirs that the water was coming through, because like I said, it wasn't anything drastic. And it didn't look like it had caused any kind of damage to either the tunnel or the base of the tower or the gate itself. So I don't know that for fact yet. We have the footage of that whole inspection on a flash drive. Him and the state are gonna go over that and review everything, and he said he would be in touch as soon as possible. Now, barring nothing else comes up that they're gonna make us do, it sounds like after this, should be able to finally move forward. But we'll know once that they have that meeting and review that video footage and everything there. So that was about gonna be probably around $2,700 total to get that completed. And right now we're back kind of on the, we'll wait and see what they tell us moving forward. Are there any questions on that?
First,
I hate to even ask the question. If we had to replace that gate, you'd be talking about some major work.
Yeah, it would be, from what I
If it drains the lake.
understand, and from what they said there's a chance, and we couldn't tell from where, because we were inside that tunnel, but they said what happens, especially like with these gates, he said this is not, he didn't expect it to be fully sealed. He said if it was fully sealed, he would have been surprised, because he said all of this system, they used that back then. He said most of the gates are never used because of the issue that once you raise them, you can't lower them. Or you can't raise them, you try to raise them and something breaks, and then you have another problem. He said on the second side, there's a good chance the majority of that gate's silted in. And so he said if you ever did try to raise it, he said you probably now you would never get it shut. But I don't know, really the big thing that I think their main concern was that tube that runs underneath the dam, is that it was leaking somewhere or had stress fractures or cracks.
You won't have erosion under the dam that way.
Right, and really the tunnel itself still looked really, really good. They were afraid of debris caught in there or whatever the case is, and there really wasn't.
Good.
So that was promising. Talking to Brian, he said, sometimes they say everything's fine, then you have this meeting, and next thing you know, you got a whole nother list of things that need to be done. But talking to the state engineer that was on site, he made it seem like he wasn't too concerned with it. So we got our fingers crossed and are hoping that nothing more comes of it. But so we'll continue to keep you guys in the loop with that. But we did have to get that done here last week. My next order of business, Craig Johnson there with the state of Kansas, and Tina, I have 2 copies of this. My printer jammed. I did email all the commissioners, and I emailed you a copy of this as well. So this is the.
Do you want a copy now, or you
So
want to just
I've
get
got it here on the computer.
Okay.
We got it.
I'll need a copy since it's not available online. Thank you.
And so this contract, this is the exact same one that was signed, I believe last time was 2018. And nothing has changed on this CFAP contract from this year from then. They contacted me and said nothing has to be officially signed right now, but they said the last year we did this, the the commission did a 5-year contract with them. And really what they're wanting to know is if you like the 5 years, if you wanted to bring it down to 3, if you wanted to raise it up. But on that contract there, if there was a, I guess, time length that the commission would prefer to sign, they also made it very clear to me, if, let's say we did a 5-year contract and we wanted to get out of this contract, it's not hard. They said there's about a 60-day waiting period and we can get out of it if for whatever reason the commission did decide to get rid of the CFAP.
Either side could agree to disagree.
Yeah, and they said it's not a problem at all, but I think the last year we did this was 2018, so it would have been a 5-year contract that we did the last time we went through this. But
How long have you been here, Isaac?
that's what we were talking about this morning with Craig. I think last time we did this, it was my 3rd day on the job.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
And last time they did that, actually Craig and the director of the CFAP program, I believe, were here and spoke to you guys about it. And that was my first introduction to Craig. So yeah, that was about right when I started.
Do you get a chance to visit with any other lake people that has the CFAP program?
So actually last week, we held our, they call it the small lake manager meeting.
Good.
We do it once a year. And so last Wednesday, we went over to Harvey County East Lake. It was me, Wellington, Winfield, Harvey County East, Lake Afton there in Wichita. And we all met, we talked about camping rates,
Right.
projects that we're doing, and all of that. Every single one of them is on CFAP program.
Cool. Roundtable talk is good talk. We like that.
Yeah, and they pretty much everybody agreed it's a good thing. There are still a couple of places that do things a little differently. They charge permits for things outside of the CFAP program that you can get away with without, but pretty much the consensus is it is a good thing for the lake. It takes care of the fishery. They come out and they do all the studies and do all of that stuff, which saves a lot of time and money both from the lake department. But
We used to have to deal with buying the fish, doing all that stuff, and then asking them to come do a study for us and that kind
Hire a
of thing.
biologist to come
Yes,
study the
yes.
population.
There's a hatchery down on the bottom, on the backside.
Used to be a long time ago, not since I've been a board member, but it's been there. No, this was just an every year thing. We usually try to do it and take their recommendations for the next 4 or 5 years.
Just contracted with a private seller of fish.
Yeah. So no, it's, as long as you see that they're actively maintaining what they say they're doing, I think it's been a lot less headache for you and a lot less headache for us as a commission to.
Well, back at that time too, they had an active lake board.
yeah.
Yeah, but not since I've been on it. There hasn't been a active lake board. So that means, that was a long time ago, Kent, but it was, yes, they did foreclose, and they just didn't.
I guess I'm kind of new to it, but I see in there that the department pays the cooperator an annual fee. So the lake is getting a payment for wildlife.
Yes, it ends up
And doing all these services.
I think it's in there. It might
Yeah.
be right around 25,000 for the year.
That's exactly what it is.
They pay us for all different kinds of shoreline maintenance, bathroom cleaning,
That's
making
awesome.
your facilities open to the public, and all of that. Yeah.
I guess then, what would be your recommendations, to stay at the 5-year, or?
I think so.
Okay.
That way, I mean, in case they ever make any changes or something happens and we do decide we want to back out of it, you know, it's available. And I feel, you know, and that's kind of like he said really backing out or getting out's not hard. He said it kind of just depends on how often we want to come in and do.
Was our prior one a 5-year?
Huh?
Was our?
Yeah, our prior one was a 5-year.
Is that right?
That's kind of what I was
About
curious
time.
of, yeah.
And just for those online, and for people like myself who are new, this is Wildlife and Parks Community Fisheries Assistance Program. That's the CFAP.
Correct. And so like the lake, we used to charge a fee. So you have your state fishing license, you wanted to come out to the county lake and fish. There was an additional fee that you had to pay to fish at the lake. This kind of gets rid of that. So the state benefits from it because it makes fishing more open to the general public throughout the state of Kansas. And in return, the county gets benefit from them for doing that, for getting rid of that extra permit fee.
How does the 25,177.32 compare to 5 years ago? It's the same.
And the breakout on how they come up with that, because every lake's different on what that
Oh, yeah. I'm
number
sure.
is, and the breakout is, should be
It's up the first part.
in there, yeah, on how they came up with that magic number
2,
there.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items.
Yeah, I think it's a good deal.
Okay. Would that be a motion to?
I'd make a motion to go ahead and approve a 5-year contract with Wildlife and Parks for the Community Fisheries Assistance Program.
Very good. Second. A second by Commissioner Crowfoot. Discussion? Seems like a really good program and beneficial to.
I put my positive response out there a while ago, and I still think that's a good thing.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0. We appreciate their assistance and mutually beneficial program.
All right, I put a paper clip everywhere that looks like leaves. Just at a quick glance.
Since it was
here.
stapled, you couldn't turn it sideways?
I know 20 years ago, they used to spend $10,000 a year on fish.
Well,
That didn't include the biologist, the netting, anything.
and they came out, and I guess just another update, they did come out and stock the lake here last week. We were gonna try to they came out the same day that we were doing this damn inspection. So
Yeah,
didn't
busy
get
day.
pictures or
Busy.
anything of it, but yeah, they did come out, they did their
Oh,
netting here a
signature,
couple
that's
months ago, and they
organization.
did their
Yeah.
stock.
It's mostly just channel cat here.
Yeah, they did that, some bait fish, and it sounds like he said they're planning on coming out this upcoming spring and doing sawguy. But they did not have any sawguy or walleye left at the hatchery when they stopped here this fall, so that's what it sounds like the plan is. And I was gonna say, yeah, as far as the CFAP, like you said, 10,000 on fish and everything like that, I have no idea what the total income was for the extra lake permits or anything, but I can't even imagine it's anywhere near the 25,000 that we get in return from the state. And besides that, that was, that's what I had today.
They still stock wipers at all?
So they have it now, that's what it's been 8 years. So they did 8 years ago, and with that, they did wiper and sawguy. And so that was kind of been the hot topic this year was.
They just stock very many of those.
Wipers?
Yeah.
Why not?
Well,
They can't reproduce.
Yeah.
And so they do that when the
Questionable.
crappie population gets high and they start stunning, they have to do some kind of predatory fish. And it's always been $1 million conversation of, is it wiper or is it walleye or sawguy? Sounds like he gets a lot of phone calls and input on that, on what people want to see in there. And you have the guys that like to come out and catch the wiper because they're fun to catch, and you also have other guys that would rather have walleye because they're better to eat. And so it's going to be one or the other. He said, looking at the crappie number, the number's starting to get high, which is a great thing. But if it gets too high, then those fish start getting stunted and they don't get the bigger size. So then you got to go back, and it's kind of like a cycle that they're doing. So it's either going to be wiper or sawguy. That's going to be the $1 million question. But it sounds like here, probably within the next year or the following year, they're going to do quite a few of those. So.
All right, well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
And we will keep you in the loop with what we hear on that damn inspection.
We do appreciate you moving ahead.
Now, wait a minute now. After that meeting that you had, and you're bringing us a report in, right? I want to hear some new and exciting things that you learned from all them other people.
Things are ran very differently at a few of these other small lakes. Camping fees, honestly, we were the lowest, but not by much. There was a couple that were up in the 20s, but a lot of them were still in the high teens. We're at 14,
Yeah.
but there were a lot 16 to 18. A lot of them, you know, the big thing we talked about as far as camping goes was, so like for us, you got 14 days, and that's your max. A lot of these places, it's 14 days, and you can move one camp spot and stay another day. And so they have the same people that will camp they'll just hop back to campsites all summer. And we kind of talked about that and the positives and negatives about it. You know, you can get people living out there essentially, which is the downside of it. But I guess they keep their campsites busy. Some people have the seasonal pass, some don't. Talked about the positives and negatives of that. Harvey County East just got a couple of new cabins. They're the only ones that have gone to the cabin rental. So we went out and we looked at the cabins and how they rent that out, pricing and all that stuff.
Are they wildlife and parks cabins?
No, they're the counties. But Harvey County, they have Harvey County East Lake, Harvey County West Lake. Then they have another area, it's called Camp Blackhawk, which is kind of out there by like the movie theater on the strip mall on the south side there. And that's where they put their cabins at. So they're not actually on the lake, it's like a park area. And they have about a 3-acre pond there and a disc golf course and a basketball court in the 2 cabins.
Cool.
And they did those cabins last year. So I guess there's a couple of other lakes looking at the cabin idea. So we went and looked at those. And
Was it running water or non-running water?
they had running water there. And they had sewer and everything. They were pretty nice.
Yeah.
They looks like they spent quite a bit of time and money on them, but they weren't at their main Harvey County East Lake. They didn't have any other campground hookups or anything else at this Camp Hawk. It was just the 2 cabins.
Was it a pre-built cabin?
They were actually trying to think the name, sturdy built
Sturdy built.
sheds, and
Oh, okay.
they bought them as a shed, and then they
Finished them.
refurbished everything.
All right, well, thank you again.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
absolutely. Thank you guys.
Joel? Hi, Joel.
Hello.
Appreciate you making time this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you guys. Here's a quote. And it's not exact, because on that, I think it's the second page, but it's a window that we would be looking at. And we'll look at the 3rd page. Like that red. Well, I guess here's the color copy, sorry, but the wall right here would be new on that, and then that area that's not colored in would be a window. And Jay Christensen talked to, I don't remember who it was, but had them do a quote on what a window would cost there, and that's on that back side there. So that's about what we would be looking at doing. I mean, just adding that wall there, and then essentially adding a door and then making an entryway there that's next to that wall there would be the plan. We were thinking about doing different things with that front entrance there, and that it's just such a big space to not use it or try to use it for an office.
Was there a door here already? Where you read?
There is not a door. There was, I think, a door there,
there's an
but
opening
they
that can be
closed
cut.
it in, and then I think.
Yeah.
No, it's not, it doesn't exist. I mean, they rolled it off.
But it's wood.
Is it just the whole building?
Yeah.
This is not the whole building, this is that
this side.
entrance, so like EMS is these 3 here, and then the rest of the offices are coming back down this hallway here. And so there would have to be there is the
What's the restroom then?
It's all the way
restroom.
at the bottom.
Down here.
And so that's like a utility closet here. The only issue would be trying to, I think with this design, is either putting a, because the return for the air is up in this area here. Jay looked at it and he said you can run it either through here where the air duct works into there, or put something up above the door. I think just for trying to separate everything, I think going through the wall would be easier, but it didn't look like that would be an issue. That's not included in the quote, unfortunately, but I think just the walls and getting that is what's on the quote.
There's already a chase up from the old bathroom to the new. They're above in that hallway in the back. They've run the water and electrical over the
Okay.
top. So you would just
I
add
think-
more of a chase to get that over there. It
And-
wouldn't be. there wouldn't be no head clearance problems or anything.
Yeah, I don't think there should be a big issue with that.
Just a matter of we need to return.
Yeah, it needs to get pulled back over there.
Well, it looks like a pretty simple plan, and it gives the EMS, as long as that door's there that you're talking about, Joni, it looks like it, you know, they can come into there, come to that door and, yeah, they're accessible for wheelchair. I mean,
Yeah.
instead of going completely through your area then.
Right.
Yeah. Doable.
Other questions?
Would you have a locked door from both ends of the building? It'd be locked.
So this door would be a locked door here, and then this door here would be a locked door. So that would be access for. That would just
EMS would be
yeah,
a-
that would just be the way that
It'd
it
be
is
on-
right now. And so then that
So they'd be exposed to your criminals
No.
they should not be. I mean,
because they're coming in out there.
The clients.
right.
Clients, excuse me.
And
Patrons.
I mean, there's probably nothing saying you couldn't add secure access to both sides with a different code.
right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean
I mean, it probably should have it in.
Yeah.
the access on the south, I mean, I hadn't planned on doing anything with that just because we wouldn't be, I think, using that.
Yeah, your door is still locked on the south for yours.
Right, getting in,
And-
not through the outside, but yeah, getting into, I guess, that portion of it.
What kind of door, since we're talking about that, Tina just mentioned very truly it should be that, but this, once they come, is there gonna be any passageway, I mean, any locks to get into this area here?
Not more than what's there now.
Okay. So there is no locks there now, I can come right straight through here.
That's, I mean, as far as I know, the way that it is
Yeah.
right now, I think it can be locked.
Okay. But I was thinking, if you're gonna put a door in that EMS, and just for the purpose of what we're talking about, who's on the other side?
Security.
Yeah, and what kind of window door do you put in, and,
Yeah, Jay was talking to me this morning about they put in metal doors, you know. You can't do wood doors. They'd all be, the doors, the new doors you put in would be
so
solid
I'm
metal.
talking about, I like to see that whether we have cameras or whether we have what's on the other side of the door. And I think that's what you're hearing from your secretary and the EMS, they wanna know who's out there and stuff, so. I don't blame them, who's on the other side of the door. And what you was talking about, there's nothing right now that says that this person, somebody of any kind, whether it has any relationship to him or has any, the south door, that building's always open.
It should be locked and camera both.
Well,
That's what these two doors are supposed to create, is a secure for them to go and a secure for EMS to go. And then the bathroom remains public.
But nobody will be able to get to it if they are handicapped, is the only thing.
That's right.
Bathroom.
Without going through the offices, they can't get to it.
Let's put it this way, the staff and the clients in the office would have access to the restroom, handicapped accessible,
Yes.
because they would come in from the south, or from the north.
Have any of you looked at the west entrance out there on this building?
No.
Got to, just take a look around there at the west entrance when you're parking out there. It's a 6-inch step to get into the door, I think.
That would not be the, public entrance. I mean,
Yeah, it's
Just a
about
little bit of
a
a
nice
VP.
smooth entrance there.
It's jacked up.
Something or just redone.
With the public entrance from the north, it looks like you've done a good job designing a secure area there with the reception, secure access for both your office and for EMS.
And, yeah, I mean, I haven't talked to obviously the new EMS director, so I don't know what their thoughts are.
Other questions?
As long as it's secure and it's working for what you need.
And I think this would work for obviously what we need. We looked at different things for that front area, but I think the amount of boxes and storage that we need to just use this for a walkway, I felt like was a lot of unutilized space. I feel like we could use it for an office and try to get more storage in there as well for us.
Does anybody, if we're gonna, he hadn't ordered these doors, maybe this price is not, that's a solid steel door probably then, probably.
Yeah, that's what I talked to him about is, you know,
I was
not a
thinking
hollow
still,
door.
one of those little windows with wire in it, is that vision windows? I mean, I just,
There's no windows.
there's no windows in those doors. So,
Worth checking to see if the additional cost would be, there would be.
yeah, I know it with me, but
But-
I don't know what everybody thinks of it, you know, I just,
Well, the next step would probably be a camera system.
yeah, so I don't know where we're at with that. I mean, how far away that is, if it was cameraed for.
Because the other thing is if you have a window, then you also lack your security inside or privacy. You can come up and look into the office as well as staff.
You can have one-way glass too, but, yeah.
No, then price goes up again.
So as we stand, we'd have 8,500 in it with this quote and the window, plus the window. 2,000. So that estimate minimum would be approximately 2,000 for a transaction window.
Okay, so sorry, that was, that's a different quote. I see where you're seeing there at the bottom of that quote. So that was his estimate on, trying to get it built out. He went to, do you remember the place this was?
I don't remember, but he got a bid, a lot cheaper bid
It's
for the window.
Window place that he uses in Wichita, so we asked them, and he said they're very responsive on getting things done within a couple of days, and so that's who he went and talked to about that, doing the window. And so that 2,000 is a different quote, I apologize for that there. But yeah, that 425 would be for the frame in that window.
I guess then what would be the total with the transaction window?
So looking at it, it would be the materials on that one, the 425 plus so about 7,000.
Okay. So I guess the question to the commission would be whether or not to proceed with the project at approximately $7,000.
Does that come out of the attorney budget?
Probably the courthouse, since it's courthouse act.
I doubt they have money in their budget for that, so.
Because we did the other improvements out of the courthouse.
You mean out of general fund?
It'll be, well, attorney's budget is in the general fund
Right.
anyway, but, yeah, I would say it'll be out of general fund unless you wanna do it out of ARPA.
And I can talk to EMS about, what kind of door that they would want there, and that might change.
Yeah, I think there's some dollar figures that might change a little bit, especially if you talk about who's out there, right?
Yeah.
By shifting that wall a little further south, their wall with the window in it would allow a little bit more room so that the EMS could have a window just like that, a secure window to see out. And then you could go to the door and open it for
Yeah.
whoever.
Yeah, that's another, yeah, maybe it don't have to be in the door, you could just move it 6, 8, or 10, 8, 12,
So
I don't know.
there'd be two of these windows, I mean, that's what I'm getting at, one beside the door, just to the,
Do they want a window?
I don't know what they want, I mean, I'm just,
And I can go over there and.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if they want to.
yeah, no, I just
Yeah.
make sure we rule that out.
yeah, we've done a lot of projects, and the first thing you hear is come back and they want to improve this, step up another 3,000 or 5,000, so I'm just asking for all the wannabes or wants before we get there.
Yeah, we need to have this one ironed out, because we already put some money into refabbing this building.
They took,
Which, that isn't a loss, I mean, it needed to be done. This
they are taking the window out, isn't it, in between their office and this hall?
No, that's already been,
It's already been filled in?
I believe so.
This window right here?
Yeah, there's no window in there.
They filled it already, it's been
There's
filled
nothing.
in?
They filled that in
Just here,
when we did this, yeah.
okay.
but the door wasn't filled in, or it was filled in behind those cabinets.
Behind the cabinets, those black cabinets.
Does commission want me to potentially contact the company that did the cameras here and in the jail to see about keypad access and potential cameras or?
Do we have cameras there in their office?
No,
We don't have?
no.
Yeah, I think that'd be
That would
wise.
be another
Wouldn't you
phase.
guys want
that-
cameras
Probably-
outside so you can see what's
probably
coming
need
up?
Well, we have cameras outside from,
Over here?
we have some exterior cameras on this building that catch
But
that
they're
building,
not-
but not the whole.
they're
Not inside.
Right, not inside.
I think it would be wise.
I think it would be checking into it, and if it's available or something like that.
And that also helps a little bit ARPA, right, funding.
It would fall under that, so. All right, what I'm hearing as far as the consensus is the commission would like to get a little information to kind of, the clerk would head up that research.
For the security
camera,
part,
security
sure.
part.
Security part of it.
Talk to, get EMS together.
Okay.
Somebody just needs to ask, see,
Your new
I guess,
department head.
see what your existing clerk does need, or what's needed, or why she would want something, or why she wouldn't. But I don't wanna be sitting here and everybody come back and, that's what we're doing, we just made improvements there, and here's a guy sitting here wanting $6,000 more. I mean, same thing.
It's for a different.
Different
use.
cause,
Right.
but I'm just saying.
We're
trying
getting
to-
So
closer.
Yeah.
the new director starts tomorrow.
Okay.
So, I mean, the way I
Yes.
understood that commission wants
So I-
Mr. Enzi to work with the new director to just verify the window placement.
If
or-
you, I
and
think
or
it will delay
clear
a
door
week,
or
but
something.
I think by next week, it'll probably get something back. Just to make sure we've got confirmation from the new director that that'll work.
Okay, yeah, you do that.
And in the meantime, I'll try to contact the security folks and get that going too, so we can have an idea what that would be, because then you'd have all your secure aspects.
Okay, and I can talk to him about what he thinks about cameras and things. I mean, my thought just sitting here, I mean, one, facing out so that covers both doors or the entrances, and one on the outside.
Mhm.
I don't know on each of the other entrances,
Yeah.
but the main entrance would be.
Sure. I think that's very.
Do we need to get a quote on more doors?
I think we may need to figure out what kind of door EMS would want for that
Yes,
entrance.
yeah.
and-
Yeah, if,
And probably bringing the security folks in to make sure that whatever access control that we need,
Yeah.
we'll just make the doors that you're looking at.
yeah, that's true too.
Want to make sure your mag locks, your panic bars all compatible.
Okay.
Good, we're getting closer.
Keep plugging along.
Yeah, nothing happens quick,
No. But we appreciate
Even if we hired an engineer, it wouldn't be no quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still have to, move ahead, so, yeah.
Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions or thoughts on it? If you have anything, let me know.
We're good.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We gotta get with Lloyd too.
Hey, Krista. Hi, Krista.
How are you?
Health fair was a success.
Health fair was a success, I'll start with that.
Great.
So pass these around. Our stats from the health fair and some pictures that Jess compiled. So we had 123 guests, including, or plus 20 plus children that attended. 22 vendors and 87 clients that were served by St. Luke Hospital and Hillsborough Community Hospital for their labs. We gave 24 flu shots from the health department. One helicopter was there. They had Rosie the skunk from Atlas, and the kids liked that. We had 97 guests that entered the drawing, so they had to go through so many booths and get a stamp for the drawing. 15 prizes from vendors and area businesses. 56 entered for the Apple Watch drawing, so I guess the 97 were from the other drawings. And 3 of the county commissioners came, and we really appreciate that. 3 did yes. I have just a few stats to share with you guys since we last spoke. So since September 19th, we've given 477 COVID shots, most of that being bivalent. There's just been a couple people that were still in their primary series. 606 flu shots, and then 52 other lifespan vaccines. So that just was September 19th.
What is a flu shot for any of our citizens cost?
If they have insurance, most insurances cover that. If they do not have insurance, then we ask them to pay a $20 administration fee. And
We just went through the change of insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield to what's this supposed to be, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's a lot of slack here. A lot of slack, so my wife went to get a flu shot, couldn't get it because no insurance.
a lot of like MediShare programs don't cover those. Like if you're getting a health share or through some of the ministry fundings, they don't cover it, but we could have someone pay the $20 administration fee. And if that's a hardship, then we would give them to them for free. So. Saturday, May 6th, we have our Safe Kids Day scheduled. We're planning on doing that at the Sports and Aquatic Center since we had it at Hillsborough last year.
When you doing that?
May 6th.
May 6th.
So get it on your calendar.
Put it on your calendar. It's a great event. Get to see lots of kids. And we do some really cool things to help save lives.
Lots of life jackets.
Lots of life jackets. And bicycle helmets.
Yes.
We're in the planning stages. We're going to have it's called a community baby shower, but it'll be countywide, so open for countywide residents. That we're going to have safe sleep demonstrations are in the works. We're going to see if we can find someone to do infant CPR and infant choking. Or help save an infant from choking, I should say.
Do you supply any of those things they sell on TV now for infant choking?
The pop-outs?
Yeah,
We
they
do
advertise
not.
them on TV.
We do not.
Yeah.
I've seen those on TV, but I have not witnessed them being used. And so those are just my updates. The other thing that I came to ask you guys about or find out where we're at with it, when we started looking at the grants for building for the health department, finding a new space, the grants all require you to have a plan in place. And of course, then you have to pay for an architect. So I didn't know where we're at. I didn't know if that's something I need to kind of get approval for right now, or if I need to put it on hold.
We went to the convention in Kansas City, and those couple of meetings said that you should have architect drawings ready when the grants come up so you can submit them. So when you.
But you need to know, are you buying a building or are you gonna build a building? Because if you're buying a building, you're gonna have to make the architect's drawings fit that building.
You have to.
But we had something to start with. She knows what rooms she wants.
But I don't know if that's something I need to hang on to for.
That's what the commission has to make
Yeah.
decide first too. I need to get a consensus from the commission on how to hit. Because I think we have differing opinions.
We're still looking.
As far as health department.
Yeah, there's still a couple options out there.
Okay.
So the commission hasn't made a firm decision on how to proceed. I struggle a little bit myself. I'd like to see a floor plan, a design that can then just be put on a property, but yet we've got some other options
Okay.
that we are looking at. So I agree with Commissioner Becker that maybe it's premature to go ahead and do the design for property until we know for sure.
Well, I mean, I agree with you,
Yeah.
but then again, if we go buy another one.
Yes.
And then we gotta modify that.
Yes.
Then it's right back to the architect,
Right.
and we've got so much money in the architect.
Yeah, you double
That's
your
before the
costs.
engineering.
Right, yeah, you double the cost.
You want her to come up with what kind of rooms and size that are specified?
I guess what maybe I would look for is a floor plan, but not by an architect, maybe by someone with some experience that would charge the architect fee.
And you have to have a stamp drawing though, I think, in order to apply for the.
Well, yeah, we still,
Yeah.
yeah, still need that, but to have some type of conceptual, you know,
Yeah.
precursor to the
Yeah,
architect.
I need 3 rooms that are 14 by 16.
Yeah, there you go.
I know what you're talking about.
That's what I can't articulate it, but a concept drawing before you head to the architect.
Because then we at least know the square footage we need.
Yes, and I think you've already presented us with some of that when we were looking at remodel the building. You had square footages, but there wasn't quite enough.
Right.
So I'm looking for something in between.
Yeah, I think we know square footage and stuff
Yes.
already, and what we do need, you know, we've gone over that
Yes.
for quite a while. We just kind of needed to know if we should hold off or, you know, stay, just because we can't apply for any kind of grant until
You
now.
have that in a simple list form,
I can compile one, we've had a
That'd be
million
great.
lists.
Yes.
a
Yes.
simple list with just the, maybe the,
Yes.
what rooms
Like
and
the
how many and
dimensions.
Square
the
footage.
dimensions.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Dave, what my folks used to do, you know, they would do drawings, to build something, they'd take scissors and cut them out.
Yeah.
That way you could move the room around
Yeah.
to fit the area that you had.
Right,
We did that a couple of times when last 50 years of building.
yeah. It's just,
Big with dolls, you know, she'd take the desk and move the desk.
right, that way you get your concept.
We'll laugh at it, but it
No,
won't.
no,
It's exact, same way with a storage shed or a building.
I do it, that's similar to, I do it on my computer.
Yeah.
Well, back
I know.
40 years ago,
I'm sure that there are
had
drafting
legal pads
programs.
Oh,
with
yeah.
pair of scissors.
Yeah, you just use a CAD program and
Yeah.
look it around.
What it comes back to is we still have a couple options that we're still exploring, and that could change. So at this point, I think there's hesitancy to go ahead with the architect until we know, even at least know whether we're going into, you know, new ground or whether we're going into an existing building.
I mean, we need something
Yeah.
to step up from that.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
Well, I mean, where are we at with the hospital right now, on where we're at?
The last thing that our last conversations were at the point where we were still planning on going out to the salon building, which has
Yeah.
ceased, you know.
Right. Yeah, that option.
But I
is-
mean, we are on a timetable with.
We have
the-
not been notified of a
Okay.
timetable. But
But the grants
what
are
we
on
have,
time too.
you know, we talked about before that they've had architects in there and
Yeah.
that they have some other ideas for building, but we have not received any official notice of
Right.
having to vacate. Well, that's all I have today. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry
No,
not being able to give you a better answer, but.
you don't know if you don't ask, do you?
No, you don't.
Thank you.
Ask.
Keep after
Thank
it.
you, keep asking.
Anybody else need to get on their phones?
Try to schedule for after you.
Okay,
Next person.
okay, I got you.
So,
Just less than what
give us the good news first.
Fuel bids?
No.
Okay. Let's see.
Let's-
We'll talk about the economic development.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, that works. Obviously, I sent you an email that that was approved, so.
But we want the public notification,
Oh,
the
yeah.
public to know.
Yes, we were awarded $1 million from KDOT for the economic development for the reconstruction of 290th Road from just east of Remington over to Lincolnville, through Lincolnville to the highway 5677.
Excellent.
And so I've already talked to the surveyors about getting section corners located and stations put at the culverts so we can start work on that. Hopefully get it turned around and let by spring.
Good news.
So.
What are we gonna do to pursue the 51% that we have to come up with?
We have capital improvement funds.
Yeah, it's not a bond.
No. that
No,
wasn't-
it wouldn't be out of the bond, no.
Capital
No.
improvement.
The
Mm.
bond isn't gone.
The bond was Indigo.
Yeah, three.
190th and Kansas.
Right, the three locations.
Oh, that's right, Kansas.
Yep. And that design hopefully will be done by the end of the month, so we can get that turned around by the end of the year, hopefully.
What basis, what all are we going for between those? How many miles is that?
4.5.
4.5.
I mean,
Yeah.
what are we gonna do in that 4.5 miles?
Reconstruct the pavement, probably full depth reclamation. Plan was to put a 2-inch overlay on top of that. Trim it and then put a 2-inch overlay on it and see if we need to extend any.
And then widen it too.
Well, that, we will keep the pavement 24 feet, but we can widen that with earth shoulders. And then,
Structures.
yeah, see if we need to extend the structures and things like that, so.
So that include all the ditch work then too?
Really wouldn't need much ditch work, just extending the structures to get them outside the clear zone or what we choose to do there. The drainage isn't too bad in that section, other than a few spots, but light repairs or light fixes there, so.
How much the 51% is our sweat equity? But
In kind.
yeah.
Really none of it.
Okay. So it's basically
yeah.
500,000.
Yeah.
dollars.
Yeah. They, we could probably, depending on what we do the culverts and stuff like that, but as far as the hole in the dirt for the widening, I don't know if we could justify that. Obviously the full depth reclamation, no. The asphalt overlay, no. We could do a signing, but again, it's not gonna be a huge amount.
Okay.
So,
So we're looking at 500,000.
yeah.
I just wanted to know for sure.
51,
Yeah.
500.
500.
Total project 1.5?
1.51.
No, we actually have,
It's higher, isn't it?
yeah, I
What's
think
the
ours,
total
I think ours
project?
was $1.5 million, wasn't it? I don't have that with me anymore.
Our share,
Yeah.
51% of the award.
No,
Mm-mm.
so you have a total project cost,
KDOT's
Okay.
maximum was $1 million.
and
We
then-
didn't have the total, I was just talking about KDOT's share that we were awarded was 50, and then we had to match 51% of that.
No,
No.
we have to match. If the project was less expensive, we would have had to do the 51 or
Right,
whatever it was. But see, they only go up to $1 million.
Yeah.
So if it's a $2.5 million project, they're not gonna get to the
Yeah,
50%.
but we don't know, do we have that figure? We don't have that figure yet, do we?
What the total
The
cost
total.
is, I think they estimated 2.4.
To do 4.5 months.
Yeah. So, and unfortunately, when it comes to construction, it's.
Well, I know, it's just keeps
Yeah.
going up.
Yeah. So, but at least we got $1 million out of it, so.
Do they make those awards on an annual basis?
The cost share is actually twice a
Twice?
year, spring and fall. The high-risk rural roads is, they try to do it, I think, twice a year, but mostly once a year. That project, or that program will hopefully be will come up by the end of the year. That would include the part on the west side. I can't remember if that went limestone. Is that what it was?
Yes,
Okay.
limestone.
That went to limestone, so if we could get that project, that would be nice, because I believe that's, isn't that 90% funding, I believe? So, but that project was part of our local road safety program, is deemed in there, so we can try to put that out there again, but we're facing the same thing everybody else is. They got X amount of money and everybody else wants it too, which is understandable, but, you know, there's more money out there now than what there was, so. I wish there was a lot of other good news, but everything else is just business, so.
Have a report on a purple wave truck?
Yes, I was gonna do that. I was gonna do fuel bids here real quick.
All right, get to the.
Yeah, sorry.
Everybody wants to.
I would like to say, recommend MFA oil, for transport, because that's the only bid we got. So, I don't know if it's due to the volatility or whatever else, but $29,999.75, so we got under.
Has ever said anything why they didn't, because they've always been mean.
And we check with them every day, just to remind them. Co-op has it quoted now for probably going on a year now.
So
for-
the volatility changes
Yep.
the minute after
Yeah.
they give you the number, so.
Yeah, and that's why we try to, as soon as we get approval, we call them up right away so they can get going. But, yeah, and, as the agri trails, whatever else is, we've never got anything from them either, so. Yeah.
So there's a motion to accept MFA bid.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Garing, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dalkey. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Obviously, we've been trying to watch the budget on that. The highway diesel, we went 50/50 for that blend, and then with the off-road, we went with straight number one, just to make sure that we get a lot of good number one fuel in the tank, because that equipment doesn't get fueled up as much, so we want to do that. So next time, we could probably go back and do the blend with that as well,
Good.
for cold weather. So that will save a good amount of money too, so. Yes, the dump truck, obviously, we were the high bidder, as you remind me, instead of being the low bidder.
Yeah, I thought, gee,
Yeah,
when did they go to that?
yeah, I just, usually when you go to an auction.
We all need to be bidding on those low bidders.
Yeah, yeah. 146,000, with the 14,600, we had to pay 10%. We had you guys signed the check for 160,600 to do that. You guys had asked about the budget. So far this year, we've paid $214,000 in equipment, which includes lease payments, stuff like that. So if you wanted to, we could just leave that in that account. Would bring us up to $374,000. Or if you wanted to turn around and do some sort of lease purchase or whatever else with it as well, you can do that. But anyway.
Is there enough in special equipment to cover that?
That's what I just said, was in that would take us up to.
We aren't gonna get a deal on lease purchases anymore.
Yeah.
That's it, go ahead, do it, and then you're gonna turn around and have several pieces for
Yes,
sale.
yes, and that was farther down the line, we talked about that, so.
But agreeable just to pull it out of the special equipment.
I think if we can do that, we need to.
Okay.
Everybody I talked to said that they thought it was a good deal for what we got, so.
Good.
All right, speaking of equipment, part of that same auction, Chase County, we've all kind of been looking at something like this. Ways to come up with ways to treat the roads or whatever else, quicker, more efficient, whatever you want to say. This is what you call a road groom, and this is just a picture that came off eBay. Chase County was looking at it as well. They ended up buying both of them, even though they didn't have planned on it. But anyway, basically what it is, it's a pull type. This is different than the one that they've demoed here before. It's smaller, but it's more usable. The other one that they tried was heavier and just had blades on it that didn't, I guess, do as much as what we did. Numerous counties have tried these and everything else. New were about $17,000 for this. But these were down in Medford, Oklahoma, and like I said, they bought them. Tom and I over at Chase County had talked about that going half on this. He's in the same situation. He doesn't have a lot of extra people. So this one, even with the Purple Wave amount, was $4,730. So I'd like permission from the commission to pay $2,365 for half of it. So we'll split that. He said he didn't care either way. Whether we kept it, he kept it, but whoever needs it can get it and use it. But basically this thing has 4 blades up front that kind of dig things up a little more, and then it has the serrated blades on the back. He actually wants to put the carbide tip bullets on the front of there that stick down like this, so it'll tear things up a little more. The thing that's nice about these, that wing does go down. It gives you a full 11 foot to go across. You can pick up windrows or whatever else. But the great thing about this, with a motor grader, you run about 6 miles an hour. You can pull these anywhere from 12 to 20 miles an hour. Previous commissioner that they had down there, they bought a brand new 3/4 ton truck, hooked it up with it has like a bale bed hookup with hydraulics, so they could raise and lower, but she'd go down the road 20 miles an hour.
What's it do? It just takes the washboard out?
It does that. It basically is just like a motor grader blade on its smaller blades, And then, so it kind of just scarifies up, and then the back is one long angled blade that basically smooths everything out. My thought is if we could get across some of these roads a little faster, and it doesn't need a,
It's a lighter touch.
yes, and faster, again. You know, if it's something we can get across faster to take care of things when, you know,
Will it pull across the windrow if there's one there?
yes. As long as it's not a huge windrow, just like anything else, but, you know, we don't have a lot of places where we have a lot of big windrows anyway. But, this can be used on, dirt and rock, either one. So, but anyway, like I said, for $2,365, I thought it was a heck of a deal, considering that, you know, and people have tried new ones, and part of the reason why they didn't go with the new one was because of the price. If it's something you're gonna use all the time, then maybe that'd be different, but if you didn't have, somebody to pull it all the time, so.
So are you gonna work up a calendar who gets to use it?
We've got all that kind of stuff lined up, so. And what's nice about it is if we could find something that we could hook up a powers on every minute, it'd be great to have a truck, because you can get there faster and everything else, but even with a tractor, the comment was made is it probably would be better with a tractor because you can see a lot better. Where if it's a pickup, it's always behind you and you wouldn't really be able to see it, but.
Is that a back blade, at an angle back blade?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
From the dish side would be to where this wing is, or would that be the center of the road?
No, the wing would go down towards the outside. You pull it just like it is, yeah. And all the blades are basically motor grader blades, even the back ones, those can be put to regular blades as well. This one that I have here was actually the more expensive of the two, but it actually, see right here in the front right, actually has angles, flat iron welded on it, both front and back, that we can attach. I've got those individual little magnets that we can hang from there as well. So we thought that would be a nice little touch too, going down the road. And
Johnny had a comment.
Just inventory and insurance and,
Okay.
you know, all those things need to be determined. So I guess if it's owned by Chase County, I mean, you probably need to address that in whatever
Okay.
kind of agreement that you have, and you probably ought to have a written agreement as
Sure.
far as.
Okay,
I mean-
yeah, yeah, understand, so, yeah, we can sure work that out, but leave it to the bookkeeper lady to take care of things.
Damn paperwork.
Yeah, I know it, but, you know, it is legitimate, so.
You were asked to come up with some innovative ideas, and when you mentioned this to me, I thought, well, it's something different. It's something to get into without a lot of cost.
Yeah.
You ever seen one operate?
Oh, yeah. Actually, you can go online to roadgroom.com. It'll show you what it's doing. Of course, they're pulling it with a pickup. I asked these guys, why are you getting rid of them? Same thing. He said the guys, they don't like pulling them for whatever reason. They keep a good running motor grader fleet, but I haven't found anybody that's run as many miles as we have. And that's what I'm looking at, is trying to get over miles as quick as we can.
And again, it's a lighter weight touch.
Right.
But you can get over those miles quicker. And you just need to.
And if nothing else, I mean, even if you had to, comment being 11.5 foot wide, even if you had to make a 3 or 4 pass, you're still going faster than what you normally would with a motor grader. So.
What's it gonna do when the ground's hard? Set?
Well, no, I mean, I understand what you're saying, because that's one of the things you do have to worry about is tearing up the ground. But honestly, with as many places as we have to go with this, I think we can, even on dirt roads, there are a lot of dirt roads can just something quick over the top of them and
One
So
place that looked like it would work really well is roads that do have some sand.
yes.
Some of our county, which is closer to the sand access, has more sand roads, and this is something that would really work well with that.
So
Sorry.
this is something that will be requested by the section men?
Requested, or I'm still trying to talk, maybe get some retirees back to run constantly with that too. So it's just another tool that we could have available to, or, like I said, if it gets to the point where we got something that we can't get to right away, whether Steve or I or whatever else, away we go. And
What about,
I like Randy, I just don't wanna see it sit.
Oh, yeah.
what about when they drop rock? Sometimes you get those.
Yep.
Would this be a pretty good solution to run out there
I
and knock
would-
that stuff down?
I would think so.
Okay.
Because basically what you're doing is knocking down those piles, that's what you're trying to
Then
do.
you're not running a grader clear out there?
Yeah.
You
Yes.
could- You could have just a.
Well, and one of the things that we're facing right now is taking out the, we're taking out the rock is we have to have a blade man that's available in case they do have an oops and dump a big pile or whatever else. So yeah, this is something that can do that and be out there a lot quicker than what they would be. Plus they're doing other things as well.
But also,
So,
it allows some.
do you have a truck with hydraulics on it?
We don't.
Okay.
But, you know, they pulled it with a 3/4 ton. I don't know if you really need a 3/4 ton, but I mean, we have that,
I think you probably ought to be legal.
well, right, but I'm just saying, that, you know, the bigger the truck you had, probably the better off, but I still think the best thing to do would be with a tractor, just to be able to see, a lot better. But,
So do the maintainers ever ask for that disc thing
yeah,
that cuts the shoulders?
yeah, we have. Yeah, we've been talking about doing rebuilds and going in and getting all that stuff done ahead of time, and so.
Okay, what was the amount again?
2365 would be half of it.
You said they got 2 of these?
Yes.
Why are they not just selling you one of them?
Because I was kind of the same way. I didn't really want one just for us, sitting, you know, like it's sitting around. If we can use the one for half the money. And I did talk with Tom about it. If you want to buy or one of them, we can. I mean, he didn't really have any plans for both of them, but he
Well,
just
that
ended up getting them.
That would clean up ownership.
Okay. Yeah, it was $47.30 for the original price. So.
I don't know, I like the idea, I don't know about all the other headache.
And I will tell you that between the two, I think the other one comes to like 46 something. Basically, this one here had the welded things on the front and back. The other one only had them on the front, I believe. But other than that, identical machines for the most part. So no difference between the two. So.
One thing's not, I mean, we've already spent 15 minutes talking about less than $5,000. It's more time than we spent on $160,000 for a dump truck. But, again, something innovative, something you can get in and out of. If it doesn't work, you can get rid of it.
Well, you're not investing
No.
much. I mean, to try, if it works, it could be good.
And what I like too is there's labor and county doing the exact same thing.
Yeah,
So you've
and
got
that's
some
what
shared experience.
Yeah, that's what their commissioner said too, is if they don't work, we'll get rid of them. You know, we're not gonna be out that much money either way. So.
Right. But I agree with Jonah, it'd be, rather than splitting it a headache the headache's gonna be more than the cost of the machine.
Will this work on a rutted road, a rutted dirt road?
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes it takes them so long to get those rutted.
Well, and again,
If
that's.
somebody could run out there and
Yeah.
run it over before they get it
Yep.
bladed or
Like I
something.
said, you got the blades up front, but then you got those scarifying teeth in the back that'll help as well. I'm just, it may not be a great operation, but I just like the fact it's getting over the roads
Try
faster.
something different.
I don't know if the
Kind of
commission,
dresses it up and makes it look better.
I just heard, and what Bryce said I agree with, is that grader operator may be able to see better. It's gonna be behind him, just like and some of the cabs that you're setting in the grader operators is the only thing you got's a mirror.
Yeah.
So with a pickup, what do you got? Mirror, maybe you
Yeah.
turn your neck around, but if you turn your neck around, you're not looking what's in front of you,
Yeah.
so, and you turn sideways.
It'd
into the
be
ditch.
just like with a mower or whatever else.
Yeah, so, but, I would just mention to the commission that we have a truck sitting around with, should be sitting around for over a year that's supposed to pull for, transfer station. We ain't done nothing with that. That'd be a heavy truck. Might be worth putting hydraulics on or something, trying it out if we're gonna set, truck's just sitting around. So, just an idea.
If you can't find a use for them, sell them.
Yeah. I think this would be a use for it. I mean,
You can put it on the back of it's got a spindle hitch, it's right on the back of your dump truck.
Then you really can't see anything.
Well, you dump across, I know it takes your hoses out, but then you smooth it, fill your holes.
I'm gonna make a motion, see how we get along. I move that we authorize the road department to purchase a road groom for $47.30 from Chase County. Is there a second?
I would second that on the motion that we just do the insurance and stuff like that. I mean, we like the idea of splitting, but yeah, let them know that, yeah.
Well, if we're
I
buying
think
it,
that his
then-
motion was to buy it outright
Yes.
from him.
Right.
Yeah,
That way there is
and
no
I said
split.
I would second that.
Yep.
Okay.
That way there is no split. We have a motion and a second, further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
All right. Thank you for that. Whole bunch of permits need to be signed. This is a revision from Mound Ridge Telephone for the first one, for work over, coming out of Gossel that they have not done, or they haven't done yet, they just amended that. The other are for EPC, which is the contractor, the construction management company doing the overhead distribution line or transmission line from the station here, from the wind farm down to Butler County. Most of their permits are along 77, which they jump back and forth across the road. Since that project down there has had some extra right-of-way on both sides, when they redid that road, they moved it back and forth. KDOT has looked at them as well and has approved them, or is okay with them, so I guess there are all sorts of different locations.
Where is their collecting system going to take off, or transmission system going to take off from? What location?
Right south of their current location there. That's
Oh, where they're
their
set up? Okay.
Their O&M's building is gonna be there.
Okay.
And then it's going to go southeast, cross Highway 50 and come in south of the bridge at Florence on 77, goes down the west side, then it jogs to the east side, it comes back to the west side.
So they
and
haven't changed
stuff like
that.
Yep, so most of these will involve KDOT. There's like 3 or 4 of them that are actually just ours, so, but I've looked at all of them, so.
I'm gonna make 2 motions, one with Mound Ridge, the separate one for EPC. First motion is to approve permit number 22-3A for Mound Ridge Telephone Company.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Second motion is to approve permits 22-9 through 22-20 for EPC Services Company.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
And then obviously we'll work together with KDOT to make sure that everything's on the up and up, to make sure they're taken out with that, so.
Where's Mound Ridge? You can go on, Paula.
Okay. Trying to get everybody involved in here. Talking about road work next year. Obviously, we've got the 1.4 million or whatever hit on 290th. I've contacted Vance Brothers for the micro-surfacing cost. They're saying, what they're looking at now is they're saying approximately 10% increase to do work this next year. But if you want to do something, now's the time to get aggregate brought in. It's much easier to get trucks in the wintertime and springtime than it is there. There's that. One of the, or I guess, some of the things to think about are sunflower. Sunflower obviously is not getting any better by the year. I think you give it another year or 2, it's going to be very similar to what it was on indigo. Now, to say that an overlay is the best thing to go, I'm not going to say that. Microsurfacing, it's just something to keep on the radar, because obviously that's our second or third.
Do we need to specify to them which area, or,
No.
or can we just get miles of travel?
Miles of travel, yep, and that's just a matter, because they'll.
Then we can be flexible.
Yeah, because they'll bring it into the same location, because we've already set it up for their erosion control and permits and stuff to that effect, so that would be great. They had no problem with that.
What was that, 70, so 10% be 77,000?
Somewhere around there, yeah. But again,
Still
and,
way a little bit.
yeah, and it, you know, if, I just throwing this out there, if we have more units, maybe it, you know, it gets less expensive.
Might get a
because
10% off.
Yeah.
Maybe the wind farm would partner on it.
Well, you know, that's something to think about. I've already talked to them.
I think it needs to be asked.
Yeah, I've talked to those guys about trying to fix up from 110 south, before it gets nasty winter. We've got some pretty bad.
They've been using sunflower.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean, partner with,
Right.
on Sunflower.
Majority of it obviously 110 south, but, yeah, I mean, and that's, you could do it on Nighthawk if you wanted to do that too, to quiet that thing up. Again, there's just,
Well, it adds an extra layer of
Yep.
seal, because there's only a double chip seal on
Yep,
it,
yep.
so.
and
I thought you had to have a certain depth to use that micro surfacing, no?
No, you put it, I mean, you can put it over anything, but, I talked to Tina, and obviously she's been very busy, but to get an idea where we were on the capital improvement probably by next week. So we'll be able, maybe look at that too. But anyway, just something to keep on the radar for the commission as to, look at, so,
I'm just gonna follow up a little bit on the microservice thing. We certainly would consider Sunflower and Nighthawk would be good candidates for it.
Okay.
And that would be 20 miles?
Well, the Nighthawk would, if you want to include the 330th as well, it was 20 for both of those.
Okay.
And then Sunflower is what, 10?
Okay. So
Somewhere around there, so.
it's right about 30.
So you'd be right at twice what it was for the 190th. About
That was-
1.4 million,
Yeah.
1.4, 1.5 for all that. Now, again, that's just a budget number that they're throwing out there, but again, the big thing is if we want to do that, let's get the material in now and
Right.
then they can do it.
Right, but that'd be a good number, is 30 miles.
Just since the wind farm project started, south of 110th can, to me, immediately start showing damage from the trucks, heavy trucks, the rock trucks, and all that come from 110th going up, or from 50 up to 110th. So I think maybe you have some, and then I'm gonna go take you on over to Nighthawk, and here lately, since the big birds are coming in, the big wings, big trucks with all the wheels, I don't know how many wheels they got on one of them trucks, but there's a bunch. And I'm seeing some of our Nighthawk, I'm thinking it, I'm not convinced what's causing it yet, but it's breaking off on the outside. The outside half of the going north lanes on Nighthawk they're settling, I believe, about that much, and you can see the sun crack and stuff like that. So I think we have a pretty good case to present to the wind farms for some help in this. So that's what I'm seeing so far with Nighthawk's doing a great job so far. I mean, it's not bad, but if you can start to see an inch shift in that outside lane, I think that's just,
Yeah.
it does. That's where it always does, the
I
outside
mean,
lane.
the tonnage is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I will say that we've been in at least weekly communication with the wind farm people. If anybody's driven on Highway 50, you see they have a tremendous flagging operation out
Yes,
there,
it
flagging
is.
all three ways. That was basically reinforced by KDOT, because I said the same thing, I didn't want anything after 5 o'clock, and they said already taken care of. I just don't want to push things, to get late or whatever else, but I think they've done a phenomenal job getting things in and out safely. As of the middle of last week, I believe he said they had equipment on the ground in over half of their locations already. So now what they're waiting on is equipment and whatever else to get them put up. So they're getting with it.
They got 10 birds in the air.
So there are 10 now?
10 of them in the air this morning
Yeah,
when I
okay.
counted them, just
Gotcha.
10 of them.
So, but anyway, so they are definitely worried about safety, because they said the same thing, they can't afford to have something happen. When those blades are coming in at 204 feet long, and then you put your tractor and everything else on front of that, and anyway, so just something to think about, for the roads, stuff like that. I will keep working on them. Our Purple Wave listing is up for 11/29. They came in last week. As of this morning, first coming up, our 12H motor grader is already up to 20,000. So I thought that's pretty good for having a week, well, 2 weeks to that. The Volvo's at 6,600, Tobacco's at 5,100, and then we have all the other vehicles that are still under 2,000, but, so anyway, so, like I said, that is there. Did you wanna talk about safety, or do you wanna bring up something about safety, or?
Yeah, can you do a quick, like 5 minute?
Okay.
Some of the commissioners that were well, all commissioners were at the meeting, heard
Okay.
about the incident up
Right.
north. So just-
You know, obviously, it's very unfortunate that things like that happen. I'm guessing it was a split rim or whatever else.
And explain, we have no split rims.
Okay, right. Most people don't even work on split rims because of that nature anymore. If you do work on them, you're supposed to put them in a cage and stay away from them, you know, or it's like Tom said, you know, if you know what you're looking for, you can see that, but it's just one of those things. So we don't have any split rims, we
Good.
just won't work on them. In fact, I don't know anybody locally that will work on them either. But it does bring up the issue that we did have a injury last week. Piece of cold mix, whatever else, got caught up in a tailgate. Driver reached up there, boom, got his finger in it. It just, you have to be so vigilant constantly to make sure that. That's why all the trucks have shovels. That's what you should use. But it's, you know, you get in a hurry. Well, I've done it 100 times before, and here it is, 101st time gets you. So we constantly have to be aware of that. To say that we should have weekly or daily safety meetings, should we have to? No. Would it make a difference? I don't know. It just, we have to worry about the same thing, especially when we're flagging, you know, working out on the roadway. When you've got traffic going up there, we've got to make sure to be safe. So again, I've looked at basically what they call toolbox talks, of things that you can put out there for read them. You got to make sure that the guys are, you basically have to read it right in front of them, because if you give them to them, say, hey, read this, they're not going to read it, and they're going to sign it. So the best way to do that is it a good thing? Definitely, because you can say that we are doing whatever we can for safety. Obviously, you hate to have injuries, let alone, you know, big accidents or fatalities, because that just hurts all the way around. So anyway, we're constantly working on that, working on some toolbox talks to try to get that covered. The guys obviously have to worry about driving the trucks. You have to worry about the other people that you're out driving around as well. But anyway, so.
In light of that accident, I want to make sure the safety issue got elevated.
Yes.
The commission be informed, and we know, you know, we're having safety meetings.
Yeah.
It's a priority.
Yeah.
Priority from the commission.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it really has to be a priority for everybody.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
even as managers, whatever else, we still need to make sure that everybody out there knows.
We want everyone to go home.
Yeah, and I will have to say that even this driver got injured, said he put his gloves on. If he wouldn't have his gloves on, he probably would have lost his finger. So that little bit of protection, that sharp edge, you know, so. And obviously we have workman's comp and everything else, and, you know, we've got a blade operator now that got injured while he wasn't working here, and he's gonna be off about 6 weeks. We had nothing to do with it, but it still just throws you into the problem of not having anybody to cover that section, so. But
Very good.
if it was up to him, he'd be back right now. He said he's driving him nuts at home, but anyway, so it is. The only other thing that I wanted to talk about was probably under executive session for personnel.
Okay.
So probably 20 minutes.
Okay.
Just one comment
Yes.
before start. We got a ton of thank yous for getting 290th blade
Okay.
patched. And then even a ton of thank yous for the little experiment that was done over there on Goldenrod.
Right. Yeah. Well, and again, it's we can do great work. We just got to be able to get there. We just got so much to cover that, you know, and we've still got others out there. So
What experiment with Goldenrod?
Yeah.
What experiment?
We had some
Millings.
oil left, a little bit left in the distributor, so we were out of cold mix. So basically, they just took millings, went out there and sprayed them on the ground and put millings on them. Similar to cold mix, only not as good a gradation.
Right.
Yeah.
We did that in the parking lot, so.
Yeah, from the Santa Fe Trail marker east down to the corner.
Okay, down to the
It's a
bridge.
good place to try it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because that hadn't been touched for a
it
number of years.
was pretty rough. So
All right, I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 1, personnel matters, not elected personnel performance, with the commission, Bryce and Tina for 20 minutes. That would be from 2:40 to 3 o'clock.
And this is personnel performance, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Second by Commissioner Doherty. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Aye.
5-0.
I was on the high side.
Motion carried 5-0. We'll be back at 3 o'clock.
The road room, yeah, slate and
This
everything.
conference will now be recorded.
All right, we're out of executive session. No decisions made. Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to tell what I seen down Peabody last week. I seen our supervisor, road supervisor down Peabody with a piece of equipment called skid steer. And had a brush eater on it. Went down, did a half-mile road down there that needed it very bad. Looks very good. Thank you, Bryce. Appreciate that. But today I get a phone call. And so, the person happens to be the landowner that we cleaned the brush up along the side of the road. But we also, apparently the machine might have got away from the operator a little bit, nicked some fences, cut some fences, so he's a little upset with fences being cut, so. So, I said, there's only one person that I can blame for this.
Where,
Yeah, that's
where at?
from Dollar General down to.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
He's got pictures of them. I just heard this at 12:15.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
but
yeah,
but
I-
I'm saying you need to go down, take a look at it and see what we need
Yeah.
to do to fix the fence and.
I caught the fence in several places and it just wrapped it up as tight as could be around that forestry molder, so. But no,
Okay.
we'll go fix it up. So, yeah, it's all buried in those hedge trees and,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he's a little warm.
was it
and,
the owner of the land or Dollar General itself?
No, the
or-
owner of the land
Okay.
itself.
So there's livestock in there?
Yeah, well, you don't have it right now, but he said I may want to drop some animals in there. He said I want the fence fixed, so.
Okay.
You know,
Sounds good.
You can take care of that for me. I'd appreciate it very much.
Okay.
Just take out the rest of the hedgerow.
Hey, what?
Just take out the rest of the hedgerow and put fence.
Honestly, that's what needs to happen, but anyway. I did leave about 100 foot or so in there till they get the utility done, and then we want to go in and rebuild that road. But I said I didn't want to mess with the flags until they were done, so. Good? Anything else?
All right. Thank you.
Good, thanks.
Okay, is Jamie in?
I will see.
Jamie.
Yep.
Bring Jamie in.
Return.
This will be under County Council with Brad, since he isn't here.
Oh, good.
I'll bring him in online. Or,
So you're gonna call him?
Yep.
Okay.
If I can, or could you get Brad online for me while I do the follow-up motion? Okay. All right. I move that we recess the executive session in order to discuss the contract negotiations pursuant to KSA 75-4319B with the commission, Tina, Jamie, and Brad Jantz by conference call for 10 minutes, 3:05 to 3:15.
You think that's long enough?
All right, we'll go 15 minutes.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
We got
fine.
Brad involved.
Yeah, that's a good point, 15. So let's go from 3:05 to 3:20.
So that's under attorney-client. I don't think, did you give the exception number on that?
I'm sorry.
So it's contract
Number 2,
negotiation, but under.
yep, consult with our attorney-client privilege.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Balky. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried. 5-0. We'll be back at 3:20.
Sure.
Depends on what your connectivity was, or, you know.
Yeah, it shows up back where it's supposed to have showed up too, so you
We're
don't ever
on.
see it.
We're on.
Oh.
Yeah.
conference will
I
now
hate
be
it when that does
recorded.
that.
We are out of executive session. No decisions made.
Should you make a public announcement, though, that we actually discontinued?
Oh, thank you.
The
Um,
executive.
in the executive session, we were unable to connect with our attorney, Brad Jantz, so we did not discuss any of those issues. We're gonna have to continue that discussion to another time when the county council can be here. So we recessed, but have come out of the executive session. Thank you. So with that in mind, I move that we recess the executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, item 1, personnel matters, non-elected performance, with the commission and Tina for 5 minutes from 3:22 to 3:27.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot.
No,
The one person who didn't.
The one that didn't.
Well, it was split between them. Commissioner Becker. Sorry.
I'm not talking loud enough.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I didn't
All
look
opposed, say
over.
nay. We'll be back at 3:27.
I was trying to hold my.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
See if I can get the meeting to come up here.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we're out of executive session, no decisions made. I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 1, personnel matters, non-elected personnel performance, with the commission and Tina for 5 minutes, 3:30 to 3:35. Second by Commissioner Dahlke. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried. We'll be back at 3:35.
Got about half a minute, and then we'll probably go right back into executive session for another
Will
personnel
now be
session.
recorded.
All right, we're out of executive session, no decisions made. I move we recess the executive session in order to discuss.
No, we need to make another motion.
Oh,
In
I'm
open
sorry,
session.
I'm sorry, you're right, correct. Was there a motion from the commission?
I'd make a motion for the emergency management deputy director to be placed in the K pay scale. Due to some information, we just made a mistake on where this position was at. We thought it was in an L before, so we placed it in an L, but now it needs to be placed in the K where the position was at before, so.
Second.
Okay, second from Commissioner Becker. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay.
Yeah.
Did you
No.
vote twice?
No.
He did.
So
I
4-1.
said aye. I said aye before.
Okay, motion carried 5-0.
Okay, thank you.
He opposed his own motion.
I didn't.
Yeah, that would work.
No, it does work.
Oh, you can.
It actually can. You can move a meeting forward by doing
Yeah.
that.
Not goodwill, protect.
Sometimes you just need to make something happen.
I move that we recess the executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, personnel matters, non-elected personnel performance, with the commission for 15 minutes. 3:35, 3:40, 50, 3:50.
350? Second.
Second by Commissioner Dahlke. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Motion carried. Oh, God, give me a break, people.
What you got?
Nathan Bruner's called 3 times during this commission meeting.
Really?
Okay, we're on.
This conference will now be recorded.
Out of executive session, no decisions made. I think that ends all the executive sessions. All right, Commissioner Gehring wants Mike to come in? No?
Nope. Okay. Nobody else online?
There's nobody online for public comments.
I can't imagine after.
Motion to adjourn.
First of all, election canvass is Thursday the 17th at 8:30. Next commission meeting is the 21st. We will have a work session at 10 o'clock from 10 till noon on administrator.
What date?
That is the 21st. That's our next, a week from today.
Okay. Okay, let's see, we're not, is that the afternoon? No.
The morning.
Commission meeting will be at 12:30.
Okay.
And a work session.
This Misty Rank deal, this other deal I'm going to, I need to turn my computer on, see what needs I got. I know I'm 18th, this Friday, got, that's not commission canvas.
Nope, we don't have anything.
We do.
Well, that's
The
Thursday.
canvas
Thursday,
is,
okay, 18th is Misty, and I don't know up to 21st or 20. I thought it was 21st. Okay, I'll just find out.
Well, the 18th, we have the room here reserved.
Okay.
For
And
prep.
then maybe the second time I'm going back to the 29th to Topeka then. For her.
That's, sounds right.
I think that's where I'm going, yeah.
And I
Okay.
see no meeting the 28th.
Well, typically because you have
Oh,
payday.
payday
on
the
Wednesday.
30th.
We'll have
Okay.
a regular meeting
Yep,
30th.
30th, okay, very good. So, again, canvas Thursday the 17th, next meeting Monday the 21st with a work session at 10 till noon, and then regular meeting at 12:30. And the last meeting for November will be on the 30th, payday meeting at 9 o'clock.
And just as a clarification on the canvas, if you're not able to be here, make sure you have somebody that can fill in, and then we need at least a quorum of board members present by some method, whether it's in person, by phone, or on the computer to
I'll
vote
plan on being here
for the replacements.
unless something comes up.
I'll be here.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, anything else?
Commission comments?
Okay, commission comments?
Just, this world is changing, this year is changing pretty quickly. We did make a raise in our ambulance department. That, and I know other employees are wondering why they don't get things too. There was a reason why the ambulance department was done, but I don't know. I'm gonna ask the secretary here, county clerk, to see what kind of budget costs that just one department was in mill levies and, or an average, and we've got other departments that's talking to us about what we're gonna do for them, and I don't know. I don't know how the commission can explain 6 to 8 mill levies increase for just wages. Maybe we can, maybe we can't, I don't know. But that's what we'll have to do if that's what it comes at the end of our budget time, to raise 6 or 8 mills just for salaries. So I want everybody to know that we've got a tough job ahead of us to both please what their taxes are and take care of employees too, put the blend together. I don't know. We've got some work to do with all the counties and other things around us raising their wages to where we're losing employees and things. So, thank you, but we got some tough work ahead of us to keep everybody happy.
Valuation's not gonna keep up.
No, it's not.
Okay, what specifically was your request for the county clerk?
I just to let me know what the ambulance was gonna impact our budget with the wage that we went $3 an hour. Just that, and then so we can sort of take a look there. It's gotta come out of our general fund.
Starting example. Being a starting example.
Yes.
We're looking at other
Yes.
ways of
And
trying to retain.
And again, we haven't talked about our elected employees. And then comes on down, elected, right on down to their employees, right underneath of them, so. Can we do it? I'd like to, I don't want to lose anybody, but thank you.
Okay, anything else? Not, we're motion to adjourn? Nope, we'll stay.
So,
Commissioner Decker, is your second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Profit, second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Jim just waiting.
everybody just wants to stay here.
I was getting a kick out of it.